Let's get started with some introductions today. I want to introduce Alicia Suskin, who's connected today from Pro Literacy. She is the project manager who oversees the product management and strategy. And myself, Patty Celidon, the Leamos administrator at Pro Literacy. I am one of the course developers working on Leamos. I also provide the customer support to current and potential literacy partners. And with us today, it's also Jennifer Paulding, the marketing and communications manager, who will be monitoring any of the questions that you might have today. So let me go over the agenda. In today's presentation, we will share with you a brief history of Leamos, show you what the course lessons look like, and display some of the administrator features that are available with the course. I just want to make a note, the presentation is in English, but you will hear the lesson audio and see the course text in Spanish. I recommend for you to increase your volume if you can a little bit more when that video comes up. Everyone will be muted during the presentation, but you can type your questions in the chat box at any time. We will have some time during the presentation to answer your questions. This demo is being recorded, so we will make that available to you along with the presentation slides. So now I'm going to turn it over to Alicia, and she's going to tell us about Leamos.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Alicia Suskin, and I'm a project manager at Pro Literacy. As Patty mentioned, I oversee the product management and kind of our Pro Literacy strategy for Leamos. So before Patty goes in, she is going to give a pretty thorough demonstration of the Leamos product, but I wanted to share with you a bit of history of what Leamos is and how it was acquired by Pro Literacy. So Leamos was actually created 27 years ago, and it was developed to address the pressing need for basic Spanish literacy instruction among the Latino community. It was observed that most non-literate Spanish-speaking adults who enrolled in ESL programs, they found that the classes they were enrolling in were too difficult and they struggled to keep up, and eventually many of them were dropping out. So Leamos was taught initially in small groups, primarily by Vista volunteers, and then it evolved to a traditional classroom format by a trained facilitator. In 2004, the Leamos course content was adopted online, and it's been used by many organizations throughout the state of California and has set a model that was tested in various delivery formats and demonstrated so that it can be replicated. As of December 2017, Pro Literacy became the new home of Leamos, with a focus on expanding it throughout the United States and Latin American countries. We're very excited to be able to offer this product to you. We launched Leamos on our own learning server in March 2018, and so we're excited to be able to offer this new product to our network and beyond. So why is Leamos needed? Data shows that illiteracy exists in the United States and that over 1.6 million Spanish-speaking adults in the United States cannot read or write in any language. These adults have difficulty engaging in English classes, helping their children with homework, and or succeeding in the workplace. Next, I'm going to highlight the Leamos adult learner profile. Pay attention, it may reflect your own community's population. So Leamos is for Spanish-speaking adults who have little to no formal education. Most of the time, they depend on others to fill out forms, interpret information at the expense of their own privacy, and despite it all, they manage to navigate through a written and tech-driven society. So although Leamos was designed specifically for adults with them in mind, I do want to mention that middle and high school students have also successfully taken Leamos. So Why should you and your program use Leamos? Leamos offers a learning platform where the students learn at their own pace with a virtual instructor. There are different literacy program models, but ultimately Leamos leverages technology. Leamos offers flexibility and it's cost-effective in minimizing the one-on-one tutoring and instructional hours. It has been tested and formally evaluated, and Leamos provides a double impact in the fact that it teaches the ABCs while also introducing learners to digital literacy. Now I'm going to turn it over to Patty, who will briefly share a learner's testimonial and then dive into some more information demonstrating the product.
Thank you, Alicia. As you can see here on my screen, I'm sure I already switched. Okay. Here in my screen, you can see the writing of a 32-year-old male from Guatemala who shares his story, why he was not able to attend school in his country, and how much he struggled by being illiterate. Now, thanks to Leamos, he mentions in his note that he can sign his name, he can read signs, and he can also write, as we can see his sample writing, like it is in here in this note. But now let's see how Leamos is structured and what helped Jorge to become literate. Let me start with the teaching methodology, which is partially based on the popular education concept from the Brazilian educator Paulo Freire. He mentions that, well, here each lesson starts with a common word, which he refers to as a generative word that has a capacity to lead to new words. Lessons are divided by sections, starting from a simple syllable. It builds vocabulary, and as you can see here is the first module. Each module measures the learner's ability to recognize syllables, words, and sentence structures that builds reading fluency. It includes tracing the letters and practicing on worksheets. One of the questions that are often asked is like, how would I know if Leamos is appropriate for a Spanish-speaking student that I serve? One way is to screen the individuals if you already know that they have less than 2 years of education, and by having them take the diagnostic tool available, which you can see a sample on the screen. There are other factors. There are some things that you might also identify if you already know the patrons at your library or your clients at your organization. If they come to you with questions, reading a letter for them, or if you see them struggle, or if they have already shared with you that they're not literate, then that's already, you already know for sure. But if they say that they are not literate, or you want to test to see if they will qualify for Leamos, we have this diagnostic tool that we can make available to you in order to screen the students. But what is it that you need to implement Leamos? The course is web-based and it's accessible in any of the browsers. There is no need to install any type of software. Learners can use computers, they can use laptops, Chromebooks, or any mobile device as long as it has the internet access. The student workbook contains close to 200 pages and is provided in a PDF format available to print. Staff oversight is really minimal and needed while the course is in session. The course normally takes an average of 150 hours to complete. The course needs to be guided by a dedicated tutor or facilitator. This tutor can be a volunteer or it can be a paid staff. The tutor's responsibilities will be to administer or review the student diagnostic, which was diagnostic tool, assist with the course login the first couple of times, practice reading and ensure comprehension, monitor the written exercises on the worksheets, and administer the final evaluation. A tutor guide is included with the course. Tutors need to be fluent in Spanish or speak at least at a high school level. One tutor can assist up to 3 learners at the same time, depending on their experience. So that means that while some students are reviewing the course online, others can be working on the worksheets, and that's how one tutor can help multiple students. I will pause at this time, and I would like to check if there are any questions that you may have. If Jennifer can let me know if any questions have been typed so far.
Hi, Patty. We don't have anything yet, but I will let you know if we do.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you, Jennifer, for checking.
Thanks.
Well, then it's time to dive in and show you what the course actually looks like. These are the control buttons that are used on the lesson screen. So they are universal symbols. So these are the ones that they find in home devices such as CDs or DVD players. So each lesson is divided into 6 sections. That includes all the audio instructions. At the beginning of each lesson, a new letter is introduced. You will listen to a brief introduction of the lesson. As I mentioned in the beginning, this will have some audio in Spanish, but I just want to show you how what the student would actually experience. And the reason why I'm gonna let you know now, we have made a 3-week course trial available to you. So you will have more time to check the lessons and listen to them on your own. So I just wanted to give you a brief introduction of what that will sound like.
Nuestra primera lección se llama Educación. En esta lección aprenderemos a leer y a escribir las 5 vocales. En la lección de hoy, la palabra educación contiene las 5 letras vocales. Aprenderemos bien las vocales para poder avanzar en nuestra meta de aprender a leer y a escribir. Observe las letras vocales que están en la palabra educación. Primero está la vocal minúscula E. Después le sigue la vocal minúscula U. Después la vocal minúscula A. La siguiente es la vocal minúscula I. Y la última es la vocal minúscula O. Ahora, observemos las vocales minúsculas escritas solas en la pantalla.
Okay, I think I'm going to pause it here at this time. You'll have more time to check the lessons one by one, but I just want to have an example of what the pace sounds like from the virtual instructor, how the letters that are being reviewed are highlighted. And in this case, this is the first section. It usually has the word being introduced and the letter, but here's the first lesson, section 1, and all the vowels are being introduced. So let's move to section 2. Section 2 will introduce the set of syllables that are going to be reviewed in that lesson. So we'll always have the lesson number and the section number on the parentheses on the bottom right. So this is the introduction of the syllables. Section 3, well, each lesson includes a writing section of the letter reviewed. The virtual instructor will guide the learner how to write the letter. The learner is instructed to ask their tutor for the corresponding worksheet after reviewing this section. So after they view how to write a letter, it's time for them to practice on the worksheet. Learners practice listening and reading 2 different forms of short syllables and words as it's shown on the images for section 4 and section 5. And lastly, students will learn to read and write sentences. At least 3 new sentences are introduced in every lesson. To sum it up, this unique course builds each lesson on the previous one. In addition, there are practice exercises similar to quizzes in every section that we call the reinforcement exercises. The learner can only progress to the next section by passing the reinforcement exercise with at least an 80% or better. The results will appear at the end of the module. So sections can be repeated at any time. They will always have a choice to go back to previous lessons, but they can never move forward. And so the only way to move forward is by completing the reinforcement exercise, and that will allow them to go to the next section. All those scores are being recorded, and at the end of that module, they will all come up and show up on the screen. If any of them need to be retaken, there is an option to go back, or we'll have a link here that will allow them, in case it did not pass with 80%, will allow them to go back and retake it. A login tutorial is available outside the course. Oh, well, here, because this is what the actual screen looks like for the student. And we do make available the login tutorial, but that will be outside of the course because the students need to watch it before they log in. So before they get to their welcome screen, there is a login tutorial available, but once they're already in the course, they are able to view another tutorial, which is the mouse tutorial that really explains to them how to use the mouse since everything's mouse driven. They can also watch the video, which is introducing Leamos, what their experience will be, and gives them a orientation of the course. But what do the students need to do? Once they log in, all they have to do is click on Inicio, which means launch, and that will start the course for them. Every time that they log in, that's all they need to do. Enter their username and password, and come to the screen and always click on launch or inicio. That will start from the beginning the very first time, or will take it left off. In case they would like to review previous lessons, then they can always go to the review section. The course also includes module exercises where the students will be evaluated. These include 4 reading passages. It has dictation exercises that are self-evaluated, and they will see the correct answers on the screen, and so they can self-correct themselves. And the virtual instructor instructs them that if they got any of them wrong, they need to write them down in a notebook and repeat the word that they got incorrect. It also has multiple choice and comprehension questions. The results are shown and narrated at the end of the module. So as you can see here, it is the multiple choice questions. They get feedback, but in the beginning of the entire exercise, there is a video to show them how to use their mouse and how to select and click on the answers. Because for most of them will be the very first time that they're doing a multiple choice quiz or something on a screen. At the end of that module, it will show them another set of results. This is specifically for all the exercises they took. Even though it's here written down, everything is narrated for the student, and it gives them 3 options to go back and check which ones they got wrong. They are able to repeat the exercise, and they can also print. So these instructions are for the tutor that are there with the student to help them check on the results and print and help them repeat if it's needed. Here's a sample of the worksheets. Like I previously stated, every section has a worksheet that is part of the course. They go along with the same sequence as the online section as it is on paper. The workbook also includes the paper version of the module exercises and activities to practice their reading fluency and writing. So even though they already answered the multiple choice questions online, they also need to answer them on paper, as it is seen here, but there are additional writing that they need to be evaluated. At the end of the course, so once they complete all 9 modules, there is a final evaluation. In order to achieve competency, the learner needs to pass also with another 80% or better. This evaluation includes to fill in the blank, reading and comprehension questions, and all the course evaluations need to be taken also on paper version as well as online. So this one's also included on the online version, but I'm showing you the paper copy because this is where they get to practice the actual writing besides the multiple question that's already included online. Next, I will show you the resources that are available for a site administrator. These administrators are assigned staff members for every organization, It could be the tutor that you assigned, or it could be the manager from your site. Whoever you want to be that assigned staff member, they will get the administrator privileges to be able to check all the resources, where they will be able to enroll students. They will be able to assign the course to those students, and they will be able to download or view the different reports available. There are training videos available and handouts to provide these instructions step by step on how to do it. Once you acquire the course, there's all that training available. So with that said, let me show you what the actual subscription includes. A subscription of Leamos includes a 1-year access for every learner. A copy of the student workbook is available, as well as the tutor guide and call support, and the training videos and handouts that I just mentioned for administrators. The pricing for Leamos is shown here. I just want to highlight that if you purchase more than 5 subscriptions, there are some savings per subscription. Each one of these subscriptions are for one individual learner, because they are assigned a unique username and password. All purchase subscriptions, they do need to be used within 12 months. So you can start at any time with maybe a set of 3, and you can be adding more students as long as you use all your subscriptions purchased within that 1 year. And in the case of any learners not continuing with the course, or that you experience that didn't return and left the course, you are able to replace those subscriptions. But we do have a few benchmarks. For that is that the learner was inactive for more than 60 days, or that you know that they're not returning, then you will let us know and we make that student inactive. But also the second benchmark will be that they did not complete the entire module 1. So they have to be at some point in module 1 when they left, and be inactive for those 60 days. So I hope that with this, I want to give some time to Alicia. I think you had something to add for this slide.
Yes, thank you, Patty. I just wanted to let all of you know that when we acquired this product, it was really important. You know, I discussed earlier the importance of us making this product available to literacy providers across the country and in Latin American countries. But it wasn't just a priority of ours to make Leamos available across the world to people. We also wanted to make sure that it was an accessible product. And so Patty's been sharing the prices with you, but I just wanted to make you all aware that when this became a product of ours, we reduced the price of Leamos by over 50%. And we did that with many of our member programs in mind, knowing that several of you are operating on very limited budgets, and the cost that it was before would have been very prohibitive. And so many people have asked if we offer member discounts, and really we just, while there's not a discount with the way if you order a New Readers Press product, you get an additional discount, we've just already gone ahead and made that discount available for everyone because it's important to us to be able to provide you a product that's not cost prohibitive. So I just wanted to share that with all of you in case that was a question that you were considering asking.
Thank you, Alicia.
And one person did just ask what the price for an individual user is. So I'll just kind of go over the pricing structure with you. For an individual user, between 1 to 4 subscriptions is $60. And then if you purchase 5 to 299 subscriptions, it's $55 a user. And then 300 or more subscriptions. So that might be if you work in some type of like school district or community college, potentially a very large like library system or something else, that would be $50 per user. So there is, but anywhere from 1 to 4 is $60 a user, and then it decreases from there as the number of subscriptions you purchase increases.
Thank you, Alicia, for going over
You're welcome.
The price breakdown. That's great. Well, we have reached the end of our demo today, but I want to make sure that I mention again that we do have the 3-week free trial access. You would need to email me to the email that you see here listed. Always go to leamos.org and you can find there will be emails everywhere. You can email Leamos at ProLiteracy or p.salidon at ProLiteracy. But if you email me, all I would need is your name, last name, and email. That will probably be already included in the email that you sent me. And with that, I will create an account where you will have 3 weeks to access the course, and you will be able to log in with your own unique username that will provide you. And that way you have a chance to experience for yourself. So I just want to ask anyone at this time, or Jennifer, if you can let me know if there are any questions.
Hi, Patty. I do have 2 questions for you. The first question, how long are the lessons?
The lessons, they all varied, especially when it's reviewing a particular letter and it has different sounds or the way that the syllables are put together. But I would like to say that in average, what we have measured has been that the entire course can be taken in an average of 150 hours. When I will log in and pace myself per lesson, it can take you about an hour per module. You know, it depends too, because I probably just read right through it, but maybe in about an hour or close to 2 hours for some modules. That's how it will be measured rather than per lesson. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have another question. Is there an initial test that starts the students off on the right lesson, or do they have to start from the beginning?
I would like to mention that for we have the student diagnostic tool that will help for those that have no reading or writing skills, right? So from 0 to 2 years of schooling. There are times that you do have some clients that will say, maybe I went to 3rd grade, but I still need to learn more. I can make available the outline of the course where it shows the progression and what the other modules include. So let me know if you need that. But a second way that we can test them out, maybe out of the first module, if you think that the vowels are very basic for them, then what we would do is that we can use that first module exercise as the second diagnostic. So if they answer that second one, the module exercise, maybe that will tell us that maybe they can start in module 2. So with that, they will not be able to do it on their own. But then, you know, with the request, I can always make that available, make them skip from module 1 and have them start in module 2, for example. So I just want to say that it could be done based on the student experience and based on the diagnostic results. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you, Patty. We had 2 other questions come in, but I can take a stab at answering them. The first is Dorothea asked how long the 3-week trial was going to be available. And Dorothea and anyone else, that's a great question. The 3-week trial is always available. There's not an end date. So if you don't have time to take advantage of that trial right now, but a month from now, you know, you have time to be able to test it out, just what you'll do is just contact Patty on the email address that's on your screen and let her know, and she will get you signed up for that, and it will be available for you and anyone else in your organization to test out for 3 weeks.
Yes.
And then Christine didn't have a question, but she said that an outline of the course would be helpful. And so, yeah, if you think that that is something that would be helpful, I would just, again, contact Patty and she can share that information with you as well. And her information's up on the screen. And that's all we have for questions right now. Does anyone, I'll give a minute to see if anyone else types anything, and then if not, Patty and I will sign off, and I would just encourage you to, contact Patty if you have any additional questions that you think of after this, or contact me if you'd like, and take advantage of that trial offer. We had a lot of requests for that at our demonstration this last month, and so we thought that it was important to provide that to you, to give you the opportunity before we understand it's a lot for you to commit to something financially, so we're happy to allow you the opportunity to try it out.
Yes, and I also just want to mention, this is Patty, want to let you know that you can ask me if you need any more material that we can put together besides this recording. I will send you these slides as well. If there's any more information, like a proposal or something that you would like to present, even to if you have a manager, someone that you would like to present Leamos to get approval, then let me know and I can send you more attachments, more materials that you can present together as a package. So you can present all your information that you might need. Okay. About any further? Okay, I think we're done.
We haven't had any other questions come in, so I think that concludes the presentation today. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
And
we're
here if you have any questions.
Yeah, so feel free to contact me by phone or email. I really look forward and send you any customized proposals that you might want. So thank you and have a wonderful day.